Hey everybody, and welcome for this week's edition of AVARigs. Being so close to Thanksgiving, I certainly hope you're hungry, and not for turkey this time, but for some sweet looking PCs. This time around we have a custom liquid-cooled hardline handcrafted system by yours truly. Well, not me, but you know, assemblers that do this behind closed doors. You get it otherwise. So this system, I actually assisted our customer with building this, and it was an amazing experience, not for the fact that the customer wanted a super high-end gaming system, but also that he actually cared about what it looked like. So, what's in the box? What's in the box? There's a lot in the box. Let's start with the processor. 8086K, unlocked, overclocked, 5 gigahertz processor. We only have probably about 10 of these left in stock, so if you're watching this video and you're kind of sort of thinking about getting it, you're going to want to get it now because it will likely be gone tomorrow. We also have two GTX 1080 Ti's in SLI. We have a total of 64 gigabytes of memory. Let that sink in. 64 gigabytes of DDR4 clocked at 3000 megahertz. A little excessive for a gaming PC, but when you're spending this amount of money on a custom system, you might as well go all out. Balls to the wall. We also have a 1 terabyte 970 EVO M.2 SSD for those fast games and those loading times. You're playing games like Fallout 76. What am I kidding? Nobody's playing Fallout 76 right now. But if you're playing games like Fallout 4, where there's nothing but loading screen after loading screen, those SSDs will be super handy for the fact that you will actually improve your quality of life as to not spend a whole lot of time sitting there and waiting on maps to load. Additionally, we have a 1200 watt power supply. You really want to make sure that power supplies in systems like this are good and plenty. Otherwise, you're taxing the hell out of it. You're running into temperature problems potentially down the line, or you're just going to bleed the power supply dry of absolutely no life within a short amount of time. So it's always good to make sure you have a little bit more overhead in your power supply. Of course, all of this running on a Windows 10 Pro operating system. Highlights of the system. Let's talk about the tubes. The tubes are not something to take lightly in the sense that you're just bending a tube from point A to point B. We actually put a lot of time into determining the best runs of the system that are not only functional, but also aesthetically pleasing. You can see that the cable management in the system is also very light. We do that as to not take a whole lot of focus on the tubes. The tubes are the highlight of the system, especially when it's hardline bent. So you want to make sure that that's what you're actually looking at and not a whole mess of wires. Not to knock anybody that does wire management, it's a whole mess of wires. You know who you are. I'm not going to name names. And that's in the past. Let's put more focus on the fact that the system has tons of radiators. Two 360 millimeter radiators? Yeah, two 360 millimeter radiators. No, I'm wrong. Let's talk about the radiators. We're looking at a 360 millimeter radiator in the front and a 240 millimeter radiator in the top. Could have gotten away with two 240 millimeter radiators, but when you got the space, again, use it. This case is very well designed, being the fact that it's only a mid-tower, and you can fit a triple radiator and a 240 millimeter radiator in it. I would say Corsair did a pretty good job at the Obsidian 500D, especially the fact that the doors just open and close so easily. Well, that about does it for this week's AVARigs video. Do make sure that you like, subscribe, and click below for any comments on this YouTube video. We also have Facebook, Twitter, and Twitter. Tweet at us. I dare you. Happy holidays, and see you next week.